Welcome to Seeing Scarlet. It is Shelby here with Tyler for our Friday morning recap episode. I don't even know what day it is anymore, Tyler. We just finished up the soccer game, a 0-0 Twilight Zone level draw. I hate watching teams that play the way UCF did tonight, but credit them. They leaned into their strengths and they got out of there with a point. Game didn't really matter, I suppose, with standings and RPI and all that. We'll talk about it more. But that's what we just came from. We'll recap that. We will preview their Big 12 quarterfinals match with Baylor on Monday, 11:30 a.m. Mark your calendars if you live in the DFW area and want to take a long lunch. Red Raiders. You can go over to Fort Worth, TCU's field, and watch your Red Raiders play at 11:30 on Monday. So do that. We're going to preview football. Recap. What are we doing? Previewing again. I don't even know what day it is, y'all. I am so out of it today. I apologize to everybody. It's been our day. We're going to preview football's game with Kansas State. It's been a minute since we've beaten that team. We're going to break the curse this year. It's going to be because of Tyler's scouting report. And we're going to recap and show highlights because volleyball won 2 in a row. What? Swept Arizona, actually. So we have highlights of that. And then briefly, we'll talk a little bit about basketball because before you see us again, basketball will have played. We are going to have a huge basketball preview episode on Monday that drops. It'll just be all basketball about the teams, the rosters, all the things. But we got some notes. Went to the media availability today. So we'll have some notes from that on the teams they're playing. Whew, I think that's everything, Tyler. Oh, we don't have it in the outline for the best things we saw this week, but I'm just going to say one, and that's all we need to say, is shout out our student section for getting student section of the week. And shout out Tyler, our guy that is kind of in charge of the student section. I'm going to give him credit. He's one of the people in charge of it. So Tyler won student section of the week in the Big 12. That's what I'm telling everybody.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I'm super honored that the Raider Riot had won the award. I felt like that we got snubbed really, really, really bad 2 weeks ago. So I
Tortilla
definitely
Gate.
I know Tortilla Gate really messed it up. So, but yeah, I'm super happy that they chose us. Not happy that we had to share it with Utah, but it's whatever. We were the better student section, let's be real. But that was the good thing
Whatever.
I saw this week. And then also just volleyball winning. Like that was
Yeah,
I think it was
that's going to
just
be in the show. But
yeah.
yeah, that's
It's
vibes.
going to be
Good
on
for
the
them.
show, but we got to add that just more in there cuz
I like
it's
to
just
see
so
them.
cool to watch them sweep a team.
Yeah, they played well. We're
Brought
gonna
out
get
Broom.
they're the one highlights we have in this because we don't have soccer highlights because our rule, you got to win to get highlights.
Mhm.
They didn't lose. Soccer's weird because you can do that. So let's just jump into that. It's the last time this year you will have to see a draw unless I'm missing a rule. We're into postseason, so everything will have to be won in OT or PKs from here on out. I'm sure
Thank
our team
goodness.
is excited about that. Because we like to play open soccer. When Texas Tech gets into an open soccer game this year, I think that's when they've looked their best because we
Mhm.
have good talent, especially with the attacking players we have, and they like to play that way. UCF, it's not that they don't have talent. We talked about it on Monday. They really do. They have some really good athletes on the front end, really good speed. They have a really good keeper, which you saw. But it kind of felt like our backline or whole team defense, to be frank, I thought was really solid in this and really neutralized that speed that we talked about on Monday being like a little bit concerning, like how we do that, especially if Kylie Barr can't play, who she didn't play. Sounds like she'll be available for the postseason, though. They were just being smart with her again tonight. So you're going to have some young people over there along with Macy. How are they able to handle it? There was like maybe one scary chance in the first half, like where they got past us, and Faith Wynn was Faith Wynn. I thought she was really good. Made a great save, like really good save, elite save, and then she had some other moments where it doesn't count as a save, but especially in the first half, she ran out and kind of took it off their foot a few times on the ground before they could shoot it. So I thought Faith was really solid, helping in those moments. And then it just felt like UCF was like, we're not going to be able to counter against this team. We're not going to be able to use our speed. If they turn it over and they make a massive mistake, then we'll go. Otherwise, let's just all chill. All 11 of us, 11 people, chill back here on this one end of the field the entire game. The entire game. And maybe that's why part of it, I asked Tyler and I was like, does it seem like our midfield is like playing a different shape than normal? And maybe that's a part of it is just, well, they were all forward because they're not normally all forward. So they weren't able to, like, usually we're in like that box formation where you have 2 holding mids and then 2 attacking mids and it's a box. They were just like in a straight line, like more like what other teams do all the way across the field. And That's probably a part of the reason is because we were so far forward because they had everybody back. You didn't need to have freaking holding mids because who are they defending? The air? Anyway, you can tell how frustrated I am. I hate watching soccer games like this, and I felt for our team to have to play in that. But Tom said, we'll have a clip from Tom in a minute that kind of obvious, as always, will describe the game a lot better than we're trying to. But he was proud of his team for not getting frustrated like I am, and that they weren't okay with the draw and they just kept peppering, they kept going. I think we outshot them like 25-3 or something, Tyler. Only 5 of those were on goal, which Tom does note in his post game. Obviously, we need to be a little bit better about that. But 5 saves from the UCF keeper. It's a weird one. Like, we didn't play bad. Like, it was just the UCF was fine getting a draw, and we tried to kind of break them down and find a goal. And they were playing the way I described it was like super high. And that might not even be the best way to describe it, but it might be they're just like really disciplined. Like it just felt like they were like straight across and like right at the top of the box, and they were like, "Hey, y'all are gonna pass." You could even hear their keeper in the first half being like, "Make them pass it, make them pass it." That's what she kept telling them. No shots, like make them pass it, and then we would take like a long shot or something in the first half. And I asked Tom about that in the post game, and clearly I was wrong about how I described it because like soccer terminology, it's whatever. So he was like, no, I felt like we broke their back line pretty well, and that we got like 12 or so good like chances from kind of behind them, which I do agree. I think, but those are mostly in the second half, it felt like. So I don't know if we made an adjustment or we just started kind of doing what we do, but yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those where this is one of those games where I really wish I understood soccer at like an elite level. Maybe more than the average person I do now. People that watch our show, sometimes y'all like, they think that I understand it really well. But I will never pretend to be a soccer expert. And games like this are where I wish I was, or where I wish I could give you more, because it's just like such a weird game when it's a 0-0 draw. And we did play pretty well, but we didn't finish well. We didn't do some things as precise. The timing was a little bit off, because they were so disciplined on their back line, and they weren't lagging, and like you really did have to have your timing perfect or you're going to be offsides, which we saw in the one goal that we kind of had. We'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. Is we didn't play bad. The game didn't really matter in the end, maybe for seeding, but you have all those chances ahead of you, I suppose, in the Big 12 tournament. We'll talk about that in a minute. And it kind of felt like that's kind of what was like hanging over the game, is like UCF knew that it didn't matter for them. It didn't feel like Texas Tech felt that way because they were very upset at the end of it. But it was just like the game of soccer was not being played, and it was very annoying. I don't know. Tyler, please take over, because like I don't really know how to describe it. It's Twilight Zone-ish, like I said.
Yeah, it was like you said, it was a really weird game, and it was just frustrating because they were crowding the box, and it just seemed like every time a player had an opportunity, like for example, like if I were to tell you that Z had 7 shots and 1 shot on goal, you probably were like, okay, maybe she did make a goal, or maybe those were coming close. But every time she's in the box, she would get crowded by like 4 people. There's a moment in the game actually where she
Absolutely.
literally juked out like four
Oh
different
my god,
people
where did those people
and
keep
then
coming
they
from in the
just
first
keep
half?
coming.
I
Exactly. They just
swear
kept
she broke like
spawning.
14 ankles, and they were like respawning. Like
Yeah,
it
they just
was like
kept coming
out
in
of thin
front of her.
air.
It was like a
I felt so bad for
simulation. It
her. I
was
was like, oh
AI.
my
It was literally
god.
AI. What is going on here? Like I didn't understand, but it's just frustrating because
It
like we
was
weren't able to
wild. I wish we had a
finish
highlight of that one
anything.
moment.
I
That would
mean,
explain the entire game, is that one clip you're talking about. I wish we had that.
no,
It was
it
not in the
literally would.
highlights. I went and looked, but
Because I mean, like out shooting like 20-3. I mean, that's super impressive, and you would have thought that we would have had that. We had their number on the corner kicks. We definitely had them on possession. It's just we weren't able to create any opportunity. We were getting really close to getting some goals, but I mean, that's just honestly on us for not being able to finish, but also on them,
for sure.
putting all 11 though on one side of the field and just kind of,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
mean, they're doing what they have to do to win. Is like they kind of, that's how they've played all year, and they can usually catch people slipping with their speed up top. And Tom said that in the post game. He said, their best players are their attacking players. They're 4 people up top. He's like, when you watch them on film, they're pretty scary looking sometimes. And we talked about that on Monday. Like they have some speed, and but we did do a great job. I thought again in the first half there was maybe got beat a few times, but Faith was Faith
Mhm.
Wynn and either saved it or ran out and took it off their foot. Or Emily McCartney even had some really great blocks in this. Eleanor Hayes. I thought our defense was great.
Oh yeah,
They
defense
were
was
up to the
great.
challenge, and that's very encouraging because you're gonna face athletes like we faced at the top of UCF, and that's the weird part is like I don't really know why UCF plays this way. I'm gonna be frank, like I feel like they could be more aggressive. They have good players, but that's their own thing. But they didn't. They were just waiting to counter, and we were adept at doing that. And they're like, we'll just play defense and see if we can get a draw out of this. But yeah, I thought our defense made their attacking players look pedestrian, and they're absolutely not pedestrian. And so that was encouraging going into postseason play because athletically we were more than there. And again, Kylie didn't even play, so Alana Harry and Lauren Woodruff did a good job at the other outside back spot across from the GOAT Macy Blackburn. So yeah, I thought everybody had good. I thought Sam Corker was really good in this game. Like she
Mhm.
played a full 90, very creative, had a lot of space. Molly Krasinski and Kate Leibel. Kate was great.
Kate, whoa.
Star of the game, maybe? I don't
No,
know if I can say that, but
big game, Kate.
that's
I mean,
true. Tom did
her
say
two
that.
shots looked really good. I thought honestly she was gonna be the one to break it up, and I was like, Kate Leibel getting a goal would be like insane. The internet would break. Oh,
Would have
so
been her
close.
first career goal, maybe. I don't know. She might have had a header at some point in her career, but yeah, she was great. Molly almost had a goal in the first half.
Oh
Getting
yeah.
a diving stop. So it was a little bit Colorado-ish, where they were kind of like anybody but Z is going to beat us because they had 500 people respawning in front of Z, and then our midfielders had a lot of room to work, and they did. Molly and Kate got some good shots off, but if they're going to pick who's taking shots, like those are going to be people to take shots. So that's just good game plan, I suppose. It did feel like something changed in the last 10 minutes after there was an injury timeout, and then Z started getting loose. I don't know if you agree with that, Tyler. So I don't know
Oh yeah,
exactly
for
what
sure.
changed. If she just needed a break and she had energy, but she had a few more one-on-one moments towards the end of the game, and she had a beautiful shot that almost curved in that would have been straight sorcery. It was coming straight at me, and I was getting ready to duck because like it was coming straight for me, and then it does that thing where it bends like soccer. I don't understand how they do that, and it started bending in, and then it just barely. If she had like another 6 inches, I think it would have bent into goal, but it bent right around the bar, the post instead. That was a really good look. She had a header, I think, off a really good feed from Sam, and then the very last, off very end, like 5 seconds left. Shout out Skylar Hawsey. They didn't quit. They kept going, and she understood the situation. There's no time for Sam or Macy to get over here. I got to take the corner. I don't know if Skylar Hawsey's ever taken a corner in her career. She sent in a beautiful ball, like a beautiful. She's a forward. She's supposed to be on the other end of those, but she was the one that was over there. Sends in a beautiful ball over from the corner, and Z gets her head on it, and the keeper for UCF punched it over. I think it might have hit the crossbar anyway, but you don't know. It could hit the bottom of the crossbar and go in, and so she punched it
Mhm.
over, and that was kind of the game. That was the game in a nutshell. Was the Z thing in the first half where she was like juking out the entire team, and somehow they were still there, and then the girl punching that over with 0 seconds on the clock. That's kind of the game in a nutshell. So let's show you what Tom had to say, and then we can chit chat a little bit more, and then get into the Big 12.
Um, Played poorly at home. Another undefeated season at Fort Walker. We were pretty proud of the performance all year, and certainly tonight when the game was on the line in the second half. Although I thought UCF played well in the first part of the second half, kind of took the game from us a little bit. We fought back, got the ball back from them, and it was like 20 to 25 minutes of just one attack after another. So I was proud that we didn't ever quit. We never let down. We never acted like we were okay with the tie. Clearly, I think our opponent was fine with it. Didn't do much to change the standings, so we were the aggressor. And I told the girls, look, on a normal night, those kinds of chances, those kinds of opportunities, that amount of ability to serve it from the flank usually results in goals for us. And tonight, unfortunately, didn't shoot somebody out. You outshoot somebody 20-5, one should go in, but only 5 were on frame.
Yeah, it's just a weird one. Played well. He goes on to say like the timing was a little bit off on some of our crosses, and I think that was it. If that's UCF's doing, of course, credit them. Again, their backline was very just like board straight across the line, so we did have to be really precise on kind of runs and stuff, and maybe that was what was throwing the timing off a little bit, is because we didn't want to be offside, so we're a little bit not there. I don't know. You'd have to ask the team on that once they get to watch the film. But the chances were there. We had one goal that was kind of called off the board. I don't exactly know fully what happened. I was told we couldn't ask about that, which I get because refs and all that, and the post game. So it didn't really get the take from Tom if he was got an explanation from the refs. I think Emma Torres was just offsides. That's what it was called live. But Z did finish it off the rebound. I don't even know why they went and looked at it, to be frank, Tyler, because even if they did look at it and decide that she was onside, the guy blew the whistle. And so I
Right.
don't think Z's goals would have counted. So I was more frustrated that he should have just let him play on and like see what happens, and then you can go review it afterwards. But I guess that's not it. But again, if he had let him play on, then we don't have a camera down the side, and it probably would have been hard to overturn, and then UCF would have been upset. So different people think that she was onsides. Different people think she was offsides. We went and rewatched it right before we started. Live, it looked like she was offsides. There is some slow motion moments in the replay that perhaps Emma was onsides, but there's not down the line. So again, didn't get the explanation from Tom afterwards. If he was even given an explanation, he might not even want one because he might be like, yeah, that didn't matter. Don't even know why they looked at it either, because the goal wasn't going to count either way, I don't think. Like, if they had called her on sides there, I don't know what the rule is. Would we have just, like, kicked it off from midfield? Because it was our ball, he made a bad call, but he can't give us the goal. I don't know how that works. Anyway, I have a question about that, but I couldn't get an explanation, so I don't really know, other than kind of just what happened. But I don't want to say that was our best chance, but that was the one time the ball ended up in the back of the net, but it didn't count. Otherwise, we just had chances that I think there was probably, I would say, one chance that we 9 out of 10 times finished typically. The rest of them all would have been pretty elite level goals, but we do have players that are capable of making elite level goals. But yeah, I don't think anybody played poorly, to be honest. I thought there was a lot of good soccer happening, and as Tom said, we'll just leave it with him. Our timing was just a little bit off. I want to give credit to UCS backline. I thought they were really stymieing at times, but I think our team will feel like we should have found at least one goal in that. Maybe we'll get a chance at them again. It would be like they would have to make it to the championship, though. So, and the Big 12, they're on the opposite side of the bracket, so probably not. And we're probably happy about that because you want to play a team that wants to play soccer and not play pinball on the back end. Sort of feels like watching those games. Just like, how do we get through 400 little bumpers to the goal?
Yeah, I mean, it was frustrating, but at the same time, like even with that offside, onside, whatever we want to call it, because nobody knows what the rule actually is unless you're a true soccer fan. I don't get it. It's the dumbest rule ever.
I
But
understand the odds. I think I understand the rule. I just don't think I can tell you if she was or not because we don't have an angle.
right, yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell. But I mean, ultimately, it shouldn't have even come down to that. I mean, we clearly had so many. I mean, yeah, they were playing the game where they wanted to put everybody in the box and they wanted to play to draw. Like that's the frustrating part is UCF did not come to win; they came to draw. But at the same time, we also could have capitalized on opportunities and made that game be put away early to where we don't have to rely on stupid VAR and refs that have not been in our favor the entire year. I mean, that's just kind of how I see it. But
Yeah, I don't really think it was a bad call other than him blowing the whistle early. I think he should have just let it play. But again, like I said, then we probably would have scored and UCF would have been mad. So it was a tough situation there. And the only person that had the angle down the line was the ref that called it. It was not the guy on the field that called it. It was the side judge that put his flag up immediately. So he was pretty certain she was offsides. So I guess we'll just go with that. Didn't get a post game explanation about it. So I don't really have more than us just talking about it for you. But yeah, it was just one of those games. It happens. I asked him if it was kind of because the energy was a little in the post game, and so I was like, "So is it like an is what it is situation?" And Tom was like, "No, of course not. Like we always wanted to win." And I was like, "Okay, I like to hear that." The team was upset after the game, but they also understood that they played well. I think they'll get right back at it, and they have a fun rematch with Baylor on Monday, which Baylor will absolutely play soccer. Like we saw that they have good defense too, and they'll sit back if they score on us, but they're not going to be trying to get a draw. I don't think you can get a draw, but they're not going to be afraid, I guess, to play theirs against ours and see who wins, because we saw that when we played them the first time.
Yeah, Baylor, I mean, they were doing really good. They were trending upward, and
Hit a bit
then
of a wall.
they did. They hit a bit of a wall, and they kind of like they were just losing. They lost to UCF, and then they lost a few games. But I mean, now they're gonna have to play us, and the last time they're gonna be out for vengeance because we got bailed out on a penalty. We got to get a penalty kick because they fouled us in the box, so not really necessarily bailed out, but
It's true.
that was a game that they probably would have preferred to draw or get the win in, and we ended up winning that. But as far as Baylor goes, like their stat leader wise. Tyler Iskrig has definitely asserted herself, right? Like it was kind of
She's
like all
legit.
mixed,
Yeah.
and now she's leading in every category. She leads in points. She leads with 47 shots, 9 goals on the season, 22 shots on goal, and 7 assists. And then right behind her in assists is Teresa McCullough with about 5, and also Ariana Humason with 5. And then their other shots on goal people. Lauren Olmhot has 39 shots. Ariana Himison has 37 shots. And then shots on goal, Lauren Olmhot has 18 and Ariana has 14. So those are kind of the three that they're kind of just running the show for Baylor. Olivia Hess also is kind of up there in third, but not much has really changed other than Tyler Iskrig just really broke out and is now leading them. She has 25 points overall, so she's kind of up there with those, Big 12 players we were talking
Oh,
about, like
she's
that Liz
great.
Warden girl
Yeah.
for UCF, Z, Seven Castain, all these great
Definitely an all.
people.
She'll be on the all conference team, which all that should come out.
Oh, that is gonna. Yeah.
I'm
When
surprised it
does
didn't
that
come
come
out
out?
already, to be honest. I guess next week before they go to Big 12, it will. Maybe on Monday. I don't know if it'll just come out in the middle of the Big 12 tournament. I don't remember, but just the way the schedule works this year. But
Does it
yeah,
come
so
out
that should all.
before the Big 12 tournament or after? I
I thought
forget.
it came out before, to be
Before because they
honest.
have a Big 12
So
tournament team that they make,
yeah,
right?
so they
Okay.
might sneak them out on Sunday or Monday morning before the start of the thing. We'll see. We should have some people represented on that for sure. But yeah, Baylor. It feels a little bit fitting that we play Baylor in a lot of first game in the Big 12 season was against Baylor. First game of the Big 12 tournament. I think both teams are very different since then. I think both teams would probably say they're better since then in some ways. I don't know if Baylor would. I think we're a different team than they were. We're more dynamic offensively than we were at that point. And just more people working into the attack and all those things. So, but yeah, we're gonna have to bring it. They have good speed. Actually, we got to talk to Nick Hallam, the assistant coach, on Tuesday earlier in the week, and I had asked him about UCF speed and how if they felt like they had faced people that were at that same level as that girl for UCF, and he actually brought up the Baylor outside back. I'm blanking on her name, but when we watched, remember that game, the girl that was just like, and then
Mhm.
Kylie took over and was like, no, and Kylie shut her down. So it's probably good that Kylie got her rest. Hopefully she'll be good to go. We'll see, but we'll leave that up to the team if they decide to if she's good to go or not. But Kylie was massive in that Baylor game. I think that was one of Kylie's best games of the year. She just completely neutralized that girl, because that's what
For
Kylie
sure.
does, and so we'll need that because they do kind of play through kind of her and then Ishrik. I thought we did really good on her. Um, yeah, Baylor's gonna be pretty riled up to play us, I think, because they feel like they maybe should have won. I don't agree with that. I thought we took it to them in the second half, and we probably should have scored in the run of play, but just didn't quite get to it. And then we got the PK, so I felt like the right team won that game. But they're still really good, and I think they're number 10 in the RPI. We didn't really move, maybe drop one spot after this to number 18 right now. We'll play the winner of the 1 versus 8 matchup, which is TCU or BYU. Either of those is a good matchup, to be honest. I think BYU could give TCU fits because they have good speed, and TCU usually, if you can just match their speed, can give them fits sometimes if you
Mhm.
make them play soccer and they can't just outrun you. And BYU can absolutely do that. So we'll see. But if it chalks out, then you'll play the number 1 seed TCU on their home field because these games are in Fort Worth. But Texas Tech usually shows up well to TCU games because it's in their Metroplex. So home game by, I guess, facts only. Um, Hopefully we'll have some good Red Raiders there for both games. Mondays is 11:30 a.m. But hey, who needs to go to work? I might get down there. We'll see. The Big 12 is nice enough to give me credentials. I can't go on Monday because I have to work basketball. But when they win, Tyler, I'm going to go do my best to make it for Wednesday. And when they win again, I'll just use an excuse to go see my family for a couple days in Central Texas and then pop over to Waco. So we'll see. Get some pictures in person and all the fun things. If not, the team has all their media people there. They got it covered, don't worry. But it's hard to write a story without pictures, Tyler. Struggle
Makes
of my
sense.
life. So I'm going to try. But yeah, no, I think the Big 12 tournament, we don't really need to go too deep into Baylor because we played them. They're a good team. They have a really good keeper. Everybody at this level does. My excitement for the Big 12 tournament is because of how good the Big 12's been. Every single team that made it, Tyler, is in the top 35 of the RPI. That's insane, actually. Like, I need to go look. Well, the ACC only takes 4 teams to their tournament, so that's not true. But, like, that's not in any other conference tournaments happening. That's not happening. You're going to get matched. Someone's getting matched up with at least a above 50 opponent. TCU's the 1 seed and it's going to play the number 33 team in the RPI. Like, that might have been like one of your highest chances in past years. So if Texas Tech wins the championship, if chalk holds, they will have beaten the number 10 team, the number 3 or 4 team, whatever TCU is after tonight, and the number 11 team, Colorado.
Wow.
Could end up being 3 top 10 RPI teams, because if Colorado makes it to the championship, they're probably a top 10 RPI team at that point. So you're going to have 3 top 10 wins at the end of the Big 12 tournament if they make it there and win the whole thing. That's wild. So maybe if you do that, you do work your way up to a 2 seed. I don't know how that works in the committee's eyes, if they take in to account the Big 12, if the conference tournaments much or not. But you can make them think about it a little bit, for sure. You'd probably vault yourself near the top 10 yourself at that point. So, yeah, it's cool. We'll see. If we go hard for it or not, I don't know. This team always tries to win, or if they're going to be smart as far as like injuries go and stuff and get ready for the NCAA. But I think this team has a little bit of a bad taste in their mouth. And if they couldn't win the regular season, why not go win the Big 12 postseason tournament? Why not? You get confetti and all the things still.
Yeah, you get the confetti, all the things. You can get a trophy. I
It's the
mean,
same
I
thing.
think it's a, yeah, I mean, I think it's a great opportunity. I mean, if this team wants to keep playing for things, I mean, go ahead and win it all. Then you can get maybe a better seed, 2 seed, maybe even gift us a 3 seed, but we get to still stay in Texas for that second round, depending on who the Big 12 wants to pair us up with. So I mean, there's a lot of opportunities that are still ahead of this team, and I think the Big 12 tournament's a good place to start, depending on how seriously we're going to want to take it and just kind of play it out. Because you also don't want to risk so many injuries to where we can't do the special thing that we want to do when we get to the NCAA tournament. But
That's
however they
fair.
want to do it, I'm fine. But I think you have to really win round 1 though. I think we need another top 10 RPI win. So.
Yeah.
And just for confidence too, because I felt like the past 2 games have kind of been. K-State was fine,
I've
but
seen certain players, like I thought Sam looked as confident as she's looked all year tonight.
oh yeah,
Like,
for
if we get
sure.
that same core, I thought Peyton Parsons was great tonight. Like
Oh yes,
Kate, like
for
I
sure.
thought there's some good stuff happening. But you want to get on a run of winning before you get into the tournament and stuff. We didn't lose, as Tom said. We're undefeated at home this year. All those things are still true. That streak's going again. But yeah, get back on track. What I'll say about this team is I don't know about the injury. Like, that's all stuff that's out of our. They want to be smart. They will be. But what I can say is whoever's on the field, there will be no like, oh, playing it safe. Like, the 11 people on the field are gonna go for
Right.
broke, trying to go after people to win. So you don't have. I don't question that at all. But yeah, we'll see if like people like Kylie play. I was happy to see Emma Torres came back. She left the last game. Didn't look great. As far as she got hurt, she had just helped score a goal, so it was good for her to get back. I think that's good. But yeah, we'll see how they handle it. It's tough. They have to, if they do win, they'll have to play 3 games in like 5 days or something absurd, 6 days. Just the way it works. But we have good depth. We trust our bench, so maybe that'll get through Baylor, and then you get TCU on short rest. And I do think we have more depth than TCU. I'll say it.
And I think we could beat them if we go into overtime. But we're gonna
Yeah.
score and run a play, so it won't matter.
Yeah, we're gonna 5-0 blank them in the first
Right.
half. That's gonna happen. Obviously, no, it'll be good. I'm delirious. Any other thoughts? They didn't lose.
Nope. Yeah, they
And
didn't lose.
now there's
They
no
also
more
didn't win.
draws ahead of them. Yeah, they will be a win or a loss in every game moving forward, and we're gonna win them, Tyler.
We will.
Best time to get going is right now. The seniors in this group have already won a regular season Big 12 title. Let's get them the other trophy.
Let's
They
do
can
it.
have both. All right, let's do it. That is soccer. Football, Tyler. Preview. K-State. Talking about getting some confidence going. Maybe they got some last week with Oklahoma State thrashing. But Kansas State, while I don't care what their record is, I think they're 4-4 or 3-2 in conference. Cool. We got like some sort of curse going on with this team. I don't think we've won in Manhattan since 2008. That was a long time ago. Your girl was in high school. I'm old. So that was a while ago. We haven't beaten them at all, I don't think, since like 2015 or something. Like,
And
even at
Patrick
home.
Mahomes was the quarterback.
Yeah.
The 3-time
like,
Super Bowl champion was at Texas Tech
we
at the
needed
time.
him
Like,
to figure out how to beat them. So there's a lot of like demons there, but I don't think this team necessarily has demons because they're like, maybe a few of them have been around for some of that, but the past doesn't really affect some of them. There's a lot of new people, so we'll see. But how are we going to break the curse in Manhattan on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. on Fox, Tyler? How are we going to get it done? Let the people know.
yeah. I think the biggest thing is we just have to stop Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson, we all know because
PTSD.
he had
I
his breakout game, his breakout start of his career was against us 2 years ago whenever
That changed the whole trajectory of college football history. Do you realize
no
that?
it
He
literally
broke out in
did.
that game, stole Will Howard's job. They
Shot.
were so confident that, they had the next Johnny Manziel on their team, that they let that guy hit the portal, goes to Ohio State, and wins a national championship of Ohio State last year as their quarterback. He was the quarterback that Avery Johnson stole the job from because we allowed him to rush for 5 touchdowns. So you're welcome, Ohio State. That's the only reason, obviously, that happened. But Texas Tech
I think
sort of won a
about that.
national championship. I
Right.
think about that. These are the things that I lose sleep over at night. Tyler.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no,
continue.
literally, no. That's kind of what caused it. And like when you look at Avery Johnson's stats, I mean, clearly in passing, he leads them with 1,792 yards. He has a 62.92%, so 63% pass completion rate, 15 touchdowns and 151 completions, and then he also is second in rushing, 255 yards, 5 touchdowns. If y'all remember very clearly, Avery Johnson loves to run the ball. Here's an interesting stat that I have pulled up though for him. He does have an 87.6 PFF passing grade, 10 touchdowns and no interceptions against non-blitzing like situations on defense. So the problem is he has not faced our front four that are going to be there and
He's
are going to
gonna
give
be.
him all sorts
We
of
don't need
hell.
to blitz, but he will be under pressure.
Right. He'll be under lots of pressure, and that's where I feel like we will. That's where I feel like we're gonna come in clutch right over there because I just feel like with those front four and Kansas State not having to deal with that, I feel like we can really like put a lot of pressure on him and then make him make silly passes or try to get him to run the ball and then boom, David Bailey's there and is gonna sack him, right? But you also don't want to get into the situation that you were in Arizona State where another trap game environment, and then your front four is doing all that they can, but then you get lit up in the secondary or whatever it might be because we just are struggling with that. So hopefully in Oklahoma State we fix some of those things, and hopefully in practice we've been working on some of those things because this can
Of
go either
course.
way. It can end up like Arizona State where now you're having to play catch up and then you lose in heartbreaking seconds, or you can finally put your foot down and be like, no, we are the better team. We're going into Manhattan, Kansas. We're going to break this losing streak and we're going to
Yes.
go out and we're going to win this game. But it definitely is going to come down to you're going to have to find a way to hold on Avery Johnson because that's who Kansas State's running through right now with their lovely offensive coordinator, Matt Wells, right?
We don't need to speak of that.
Whatever he
Nice
is.
guy, but my God, if we lose to Matt Wells, I don't know that our
Yeah,
football's
that's the other reason why we got to win.
gonna
We
handle
can't,
this very well. He's been
can't
saving
be
all
doing
of
that.
his best stuff for this game. You know it. They're gonna be throwing out every trick they have. I don't think Avery Johnson has been running it a ton this year, right? That's what their fans have been so annoyed by. Is like, didn't we pick this guy because he's a running quarterback and he hasn't really been doing it? He's been trying to be like a pocket guy. I bet he runs it against us. Tries
Oh
to.
yeah.
But
For sure.
J-Rod did not play in the 5 touchdown game. He was out injured back then. So J-Rod is J-Rod, the best defensive player in the league.
Oh yeah.
So
Speaking of
that will
like,
help a lot, I think.
yeah, and like speaking of how it's gonna look on our side of things, like offensively, like our offensive line, like I know we talk about our defensive line, but like our offensive line actually is kind of hanging up there, like with all the other stats right now. They're 74.2 PFF offensive line grade, 22.8% pressure rate allowed, and a 66.9 run blocking grade. So honestly, like we're doing our job at times. I mean, Baron Morton has an 88.8 grade with no pressure, right? So whenever we're able to let Barron, run around and do his thing, because Barron will be coming back. Joey has already made that clear. I know he's on the probable list or whatever, but that basically means he's playing. So we're gonna have Barron back. That's gonna be something that
That's
we
fine.
haven't seen in a few games. And honestly, like if we can give Barron some room to work, I mean, let us cook, right? And he still has a 56.3 grade when he's under pressure. We can't let Kansas State get to him, but Kansas State doesn't have a good defensive line. They're very, very weak. As a matter of fact, however many players you're allowed to hold on a defensive line on a football roster, none of them even have a 70 PFF grade, which is passing. So they're that bad. But the problem is they have the
You think
best
they have
line.
5 sacks?
Yes, literally,
That's what
literally.
happens every time we play Kansas State. It's like someone that's not supposed to be good is like has
Right.
an all-world game, but that's not going to happen this
Texas,
year.
right?
So
Texas Tech it up or something like that. But we're gonna change that. The only thing that I'm worried about though is Kansas State has one of the best linebackers in the country, Austin Romaine. He's very good. They have a good line. They have a good linebacker unit, and also they have a very solid secondary. So basically, Barron's gonna have to be on his A game because you can't be making bad choices because these people will go and make the
Barron's
interception.
going to be ready to go. I think this is going to be a statement game for him. I think a lot of people owe Mr. QB1 an apology, and
Mhm. I agree.
I think you discovered why a 5th-year senior is as important as he is and how good he is, and that nobody's perfect at that position, and it's a really hard position to play in football. And yeah, he's going to make mistakes sometimes, but you've seen how we've looked on offense without him. He's back. He's supposedly healthy. I saw him throwing around in pregame last week. He wasn't available to play until the second half. But he wasn't dressed out in the first half. But he was in pregame like before the lightning delay, and he was dropping dimes. I mean, Will Hammond ran out for a route, and he threw a deep one to him. And all because I remember being like, Barron looks fine. Like that's what I messaged the group, and yeah, I think he would have played like Joey said if it was a bigger game or they felt like they needed to. And Joey was saying they looked at advanced analytics and they were like, the difference between Will and Barron in this game is not much, is how they felt. He's like, no disrespect to Oklahoma State, but because of our defense and everything else, we felt like it didn't really matter who played quarterback in that game, so there's
Mhm.
no reason to put him out there. But if like we were playing like a bigger team last week, I think Barron would have played. So I think that's how healthy he is. He looked fine. So I'm excited to see him do his thing. Just please don't run over a linebacker, Barron. We just run out of bounds, fall down, slide. Someone teach the boy how to slide. Like, we need you, buddy. Stay healthy. Take a sack. Take a sack. I can live with a sack instead of you trying to get out of there every once in a while. It's fine. It's fine. No, but I'm excited for him to go do his thing for sure. Let's go. Let's go beat some Wildcats. Why not?
Let's go.
Oh,
Let's
and you
go
know who
beat some
else is
Wildcats.
also probably going to be back? My guy, Terrence Carter Jr. is
Oh,
listed
he
as
is.
probable as well on the injury report.
Ooh.
And probable means exactly what it sounds, but it typically means they're playing. I don't know if anyone's ever been listed probable this year that has not played, but we'll see. Also, of note, Chapman Lewis, who has not played this year, safety. We've had some issues on the back end at safety.
Mhm.
He was a starter for us last year, I want to say, but he got hurt in the offseason, has been out all year. He showed up on the injury report last week as questionable, this week probable, and I believe if you do the math, how many games are
Ooh.
left in the regular season? Only 4, right?
I think so. Yes.
So the whole red shirt rule in football, which is so unfair compared to other sports, like this dude can play in 4 games, which is like 3/4 of the season, and Chloe Jokic can play in 5 of soccer and can't get a red shirt. Anyway, this guy can play in 4 games this year and still get a medical red shirt. So he can start playing from now, and the postseason doesn't count. So he can play from now for the rest of the year and be a really big impact player once he gets up to speed. And we still get an extra year of
Dang.
eligibility from him. I think that's why like he might have been able to play last week as well, but they're like, don't want to lose your red shirt over this. So because of football's great rules for football, feels unfair to all the other sports. Don't get me on that rant. He can play the rest of the year and not lose a year of eligibility, and that could be big. Just to filter him in there with Brendan, I think is the spot that he would, because Brendan was not supposed to be the starter in the spring, but he did perform well enough to get his way up there. And then when Chapman went down, and Brendan can play a little star as well position, so he could rotate in there too. But we'll see how they do that. But he's on the probable list as well, and that does make me think he'll play this week because again, we're in the 4-game redshirt range. Just some weird rules of football thing.
Huh.
Fun
Interesting.
for you.
Interesting. Well, yeah, it would be great to get these players back and to really get them settled in because I mean, right now we are at it's kind of almost like sudden death. If you want to win the Big 12 title, you have to win out the rest of the season. You can't lose.
Must
You
win
cannot
in
lose
every
this
way
game.
fashion. You cannot
Exactly.
trust that people soccer. You cannot lose and trust that people are going to lose for you. It's probably not going to happen, right? Not enough.
Right.
Football they have to win out. They know that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's actually way more intense than soccer because soccer is like, you don't win the Big 12, but you have a chance to go do everything. Football,
Right.
because it's kind of a real sport now, but it's still halfway only a real sport. You got to win the conference to even get into the postseason. Which
It's
is
tough.
stupid, but that's the rule. So, well, it's not technically, but for the Big 12, let's be realistic. That's the rule.
Right. Yeah, there's some article that's like, oh, like if we make it to the Big 12 championship and lose, like we would make a strong case to be like one of those at-large
I can
teams
see
that get in.
I guess, but I'm just worried if
But
we
it's
lose another
also
game, we won't make it to the Big 12 championship.
right, and that's you have to get into the Big 12 championship to even be considered, pretty much from Big 12 standards, because
Absolutely, that's 100%
that's how that
true.
works.
You're not getting 3 teams then.
No, absolutely not. It's not how that works. So I think this team understands that, and I think they're not going to let what happened to Arizona State happen again. I know that people had circled this game in Manhattan as a trap game, but we already had our trap game, so that's no longer an option. So we can't F around and find out.
Yes. If we didn't have the history we had against K-State, it absolutely would be a trap game because game day is coming next week for BYU. It sounds like all the big things are happening on campus. But because like every fan and everybody's been talking about the Kansas State game since before the season, it's like been the game that a lot of people have had circled.
No, literally.
Like, I know that's weird for other like non like Texas Tech fans to understand. Like, why are you so up for a game with this team's like K-State's having a tough year?
K-State team.
Yeah, like no, like we won. I don't care if they're 0 for 10 or 0 and 10 and having the worst year of their ever existence. I'm still terrified. So, and it's on Halloween basically, or the day after Halloween. Like weird things happen, and I just hope they happen in our favor.
Yeah, November is not a favorable month for ranked teams. It tends to be the upset month, but we're not going to let that happen.
We already got that out of the way.
Yeah, we did. That was an October thing. That was so October.
So October. All right. Any other thoughts on them before we get to show volleyball highlights? Because they got a dub, Tyler.
Yes. Yeah, just real quick. Rushing leader Joe Jackson, their running back, 382 yards, 1 touchdown. Dylan Edwards, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Jace Brown, 106 yards.
Is out.
Oh, he is out. Okay. I knew that people were kind of floating around. Maybe he could come back from injury, but if he's not back yet, then he's out. Perfect. Don't have to worry about him. Jace Brown, 106 yards, 1 touchdown. Devin Rice, 91 yards, 3 touchdowns. And you're going to see a familiar name in this next category with receiving. Jace Brown, 577 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jaron Tibbs, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns. Garrett Oakley, 271 yards, 4 touchdowns. So again, Avery has been passing the ball a lot more if you are comparing the touchdown to yard ratio to the rushing. And then Jaron Bradley, I don't know if y'all remember him. He was here from 2021 to 2023.
No comment.
No comment. Followed Matt Wells, 178 yards, 2 touchdowns. Whatever, he'll be back.
He didn't actually. I'll comment on that. He didn't actually follow Matt Wells. He went to Boston College for a year.
Oh, really? And then he went back up to the P4 level?
And then Matt Wells.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. They're already P4. I'm so sorry. I messed that up. My bad.
Well,
I don't
but
really
they
care.
that's in football they kind of are mid-major level. But yeah, he went there for a year, and then I'm sure Matt Wells recruited him back to the Big 12.
I see.
But yeah,
They're there.
that is what it is. There's not a lot of carryover there, people, but whatever. Let's beat them.
Let's beat 'em.
Let's get it done, guys. Get it. There's
Every
not
man a
any-
Red Raider, not every man a Wildcat.
That's right. I don't know what
Right.
that means, but I like it.
Oh, Kansas State does EMA. That's like their
Oh, is that what that
tweet
stands
thing.
for? I've
Yeah,
always wondered.
I've always
what
tried to
that
figure it
stands
out, and finally I looked it up. It's every
I
man a
thought it was
Wildcat.
like
So it's
TCU's
EMAR.
Rick Graham Boo Zoo
Oh, don't get me started on
Chihuahua
that. Yeah,
thing that they say.
Chihuahua. Yeah, no, it's so dumb. Yeah, no. But that's what EMA means. Every man a Wildcat. No.
Oh,
Every
that's
man a Red Raider.
adorable.
EMAR. EMAR.
Red
Not
Raider for
EMA.
life. He's not a Red Raider for life.
No.
Hopefully, some of these players will be Red Raiders for life. Tyler, volleyball, they won again. Lots of young players. We'll talk about. You know what? I'm not going to get into that after the season stuff. Please stick around. Is all I'm saying. That would be the only part of this that gets frustrating. But there are some really good young players doing some good stuff. And as always, if they win, we show the highlights. So let's do that, and then we'll get into the stat leaders. But they got the sweep, just pure domination at home over Arizona on Wednesday night. I was kind of bummed I couldn't make it to the game. I was all planning to, and then life happened, but it's fine. But Tyler was there, right? Did you go?
I was there. Oh, yeah, I was there. I was filming everything. I was hyped.
Oh, that's right. I saw the Raider. We were reposting the Raider, right? Videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were great. We won a first set. I think we're undefeated this year when we win a first set, is what they said on there. So let's do that more often. Callie
Rava
was
amazing. Led the team with 18 kills.
She looks different when she swings it. Like, she looks good.
Also, after all these points, look at Grizzle in the huddle. She is so hyped every time. Like, they could be up by 20, and she's still
so positive,
doing twirls and flips and all the things.
And she was killing it at the service line. The whole team, I think we out. Like, you know, that's been like an issue this year. It's like, hey, if we could just serve, we would be pretty good. And in this game, 11-3 on aces, and we didn't have like a ton of errors either. Maybe a few, but that's fine. We were just Arizona had no chance. They could not get into the game because we were just dominating at the service line. They could never go on a run. That's a freshman that just got that kill. You hear that a lot while watching this team. That is your veteran, Reagan Engler. She's really fun when she does that little slide step jump thing that she does.
For sure. I mean, look at this. Going up on a 6-0 lead in the second set, usually that's us on the other end. It's so nice to be on this side.
Oh,
like, what?
So nice. Speaking of the slide jump thing, that's what Shelby Ignash, who's a freshman middle blocker, did. It's like she just did it again. It's like Reagan's like teaching her that. So we love that. Because that was Reagan's like signature move when she was a freshman. I mean, they were running down balls like this all game. Everybody was. And it was frustrating the hell out of Arizona because they'd think they'd finally have a point, and we would like jump into the stands and they wouldn't. It's got to be demoralizing. Yeah, feel fitting. Now we're into the third set. Spoiler alert, we're going to win this one as well. So just enjoy it.
Jordan Wilson, when you're trying to think about the offense and what channels it's going
to I don't know what's going on there, Arizona. Bless your heart. And this team had 5 wins in the Big 12. They're 5-4. Like, Arizona wasn't like a 8th coming in, and 8th in the Big 12. They just put out a graphic today that the Big 12 is the leading RPI conference out of all conferences in the country. They have the best RPI. And Arizona was pretty up there. Took care of business. We love a little nifty moment. Sierra Grizzle. Reagan.
Reagan Engler.
Long rally. Finish it, Callie. I mean, come on. Freshman? She just looks, I mean, early in the year, I don't know why it just ends there. I guess the last few points weren't exciting. I don't know. We ended up winning that set.
It wasn't.
Well, yeah, I guess they weren't. But we got it. Oh, yeah, they almost came back, right? They were trying to scrap their way back in.
We don't talk about what happened at the end.
It's fine. No, but I think we should, because that was a moment for a young team to not
that is true.
Crack and fall apart, because they were up, I don't know what it was, but it was like they get it to 24 24-18 or something like that, and just need 1 point. And Arizona got like 5, like
Match
staved
point
off
or
5
set
match
points.
points.
Yeah.
And had it to 24-23. They got it all the way within 1, and then they served it into the net. So they were the team that cracked, and we didn't. So I thought that was actually an impressive thing for a young team to be able to not, like, oh crap, here it goes again, after everything they've been through. And they were able to get the win. But yeah, it did get a little scary there. But Arizona's not a bad team. So I think Greystone was interviewed afterwards, and he said that they were similar to UCF, and they have one really big star, which they do, and then everyone's just kind of like supporting that one player. And so they had a good game plan to kind of try to take her out of it and then make them work for every point and chase down balls. That's what he said in the post game. And I guess that's what you saw. So proud of him. Happy for him. Players are keeping the vibes up. A lot of young talent on this team. We've said that all year, and they're starting to figure it out. Against the teams that, they're more beatable. They played all the top teams, and they lost all the top teams, if we're being frank. But now they got into the 8 or below teams, and teams that, again, are good, but not elite. And so they're able to break through. And sweeping anybody is hard. So it's like if we just won in 5 sets, it'd be like, okay. But we swept a solid team, not anything. That was the best we looked all year by far. No question. Domination, start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, it was the best we looked all year, and it was honestly the worst Arizona looked. I don't know. Arizona just didn't. Their coach was getting mad at them, asked them if they even came to play and showed up. They were not happy, but we had a good game plan. We executed it well, and we kept frustrating them. I mean, like I said, going up in the second set, 7-0 or whatever it was, that's still very impressive.
Domination.
I mean, domination. And speaking of domination, our 2 freshmen led us in kills. Callie and Kenna.
Games.
I know, back-to-back games. Callie had 18, Kenna had 13, and then Reagan ended up having 5. And aces, Casey and Sierra tied us with 3. Sierra had some clutch aces, I think, in that third set. Really big ones. Peyton Dunn had 2 aces as well. Block, Shelby Ignash had 4. Aaliyah McDonald had 2, and Casey had 1 assist. Peyton Dunn always leads in this category with 21. Casey had 16, and Sierra had 5. And digs, no surprise here, but our girl Sierra Grizzle led with 19 digs. Casey had 7, and Peyton had 6. And this team will get a whole week off before they take on the #1 team in the Big 12, Arizona State, who just took down the TCU Horned Frogs
right?
the other night. I believe they are undefeated in the Big 12.
Yeah,
in the conference. So
which is hard to do.
Very tough, very, very hard to do. So
they made TCU look pretty pedestrian, from what I understood. I didn't watch it.
Yeah,
I have some friends. I have a friend that covers that team, and his tweets didn't sound very promising.
Promising.
He didn't sound very. In fact, he just stopped tweeting after the second set. So I don't even. They lost. So
I mean, I was worried at Arizona State whenever they beat the reigning national champs. Granted, Penn State's struggling this year, but I was like, oh shoot.
Still
but you know what? Yeah. Going to Tempe is gonna be tough. But you know what? Let's do it. Let's
a week off.
All week, a week off. We prepare.
Prepare for one team.
The biggest upset ever. Let's do it.
Just go test yourself. See
where you're at now. Right. Compare it to another game where we played a top team like BYU. Compare it to BYU. Just be like, because BYU took Arizona State to 5 sets. So if we can at least get a set off of Arizona State, that's growth in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
And I think UCF just beat BYU, and you beat UCF. So by the law of sports, we're going to take Arizona State to 5 sets.
Yes. And we're going to win.
Yes.
Because we already did our 5-set thriller and lost to Colorado. So now this time we have to win it.
I mean, if they really want to make some noise, now you go beat a top team. But I'm not going to hold them to that.
Right.
They're kind of doing what you want them to do now. I want to have bigger expectations for them, so go make me have bigger expectations by beating this team. But I'm proud of what they've done the last couple of games. I just want to see it continue, and I would love for these people to stay Red Raiders, please.
Yes, please.
But that's later in the year stuff. We hopefully don't have to worry about it. Quickly, we'll wrap it up with basketball. Basketball is back, Tyler.
Thank goodness.
I wish we kind of had another week, part of me, but they're back. They start on Monday. Love basketball hype. Had media availability for men's basketball and women's basketball today. That was today. It's been a long day. So, I got to go to the women's one. We'll probably show a clip from it on the Monday, like, full preview show, because there was some good stuff. We got to talk to Snutta Collins and Coach Gerlich, obviously. Y'all are gonna like Snutta. Her very Danae Fritz, Bailey Maupin, like the dog energy that fans love. She said winning at least 13 times in the 4 minutes that we talked to her. It wasn't a long availability, but she just talked about winning the whole time. To the point, Tyler, that I had to ask a question where I said, Snutta, besides winning, what do you want out of
I already
next
love
week's
this.
games? And she was like, well, I was gonna say win, and I was like, I know, that's why I asked. I want something else. And then she talked about the fans and like chemistry and all that with the team. So she has the right mindset. At one point, she said it's a team full of winners. There's not any losers in there. Well, there better not be, or they're in the wrong program.
What a change in standard.
Yeah, the standards there, and it's not just her. Like, yeah, some of these players were here and they've been a part of the losing, but the players that are here they think that way, they talk that way. So I do agree that the mindset's there with this team. Gerlich, I'm sure it's probably on YouTube by now if you want to watch the full thing. They usually post it pretty quickly with basketball, but says this team has a lot of things they have to work on, but she's been really happy with they're playing faster, and she thinks that'll be a thing. They have a point guard now, so she's thinking that's why they're able to do that finally. She talked about Sarah Sonogo, our 5 player that was one of the leaders in blocks last year, is back this year. Obviously, she says she's really grown over this little fall camp period. I don't know, the way she was talking about it, I guess I wouldn't be surprised if she starts. But we'll see how they divvy up the minutes with her and Jada Malone, who brings something a little different to the 5 spot. It sounds like Snutta will be the first player off the bench. She's very talented. Like, she can drop 25 plus on people out of nowhere. She'll play a lot, but I think it's when you're trying to figure out how to get your best players on the court. She can play, as Gerlich said, 1 through 4. I don't think we want Snutta playing the 1, but I get what she's saying if it came to it. But she can really go in for anybody, and so it makes more sense for her to come off the bench, is what Gerlich was saying, because she can go spot Bailey, she can spot Danae, she can spot Jalen, anybody that needs. And so she's the first person off the bench. Just wait for it. They'll all play 20 plus minutes a night for sure. So that's kind of the gist. We'll talk more about them on Monday when we break down kind of the full roster and what we're looking for. They play NCAA. One fun fact I'll give you about that game, since you won't hear from us until after we win, is when Gemma Nunes almost dropped a triple-double on that team last year when she played for Campbell. Same conference.
Ooh.
She had one of her highest scoring games of the year, 10 rebounds and like 8 assists or something, and when Campbell played them last year. So she's pretty familiar with that team. And I did ask Gerlich about that in the press conference, if that's helpful to have people like Sydney, who played at UTSA, who they play next week, and Gemma Nunes, who didn't play for NCAA, but she did play against them, so she knows that they're good, and hopefully their teammates, the rest of the players on the team, will understand that, hey, you can't sit lightly on this team, because we took one of the best players from that conference, right? And she's on our team now, so that's how talented they can be. And that team won the regular season for them. So both of the teams they play next week were regular season champs in their conference. So very talented. We'll get into a rhythm where we're doing full previews of teams as we go on, but there's nothing to really preview right now because nobody's played, Tyler.
Stats. Yeah, the only thing that I heard was, I was talking to Adley today at soccer. Apparently, NCAA, they're preparing for they have a 6'6" girl that they're kind of preparing for, so interested to see what we're going to do 5 spot wise and kind of match up with that. But apparently she's pretty good and pretty athletic. So
they have I don't know, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with Adley, so hopefully that's
right.
Hopefully that's not true actually, but I know they have a 6'4" player that was their second leading scorer last year and almost averaged a double-double. So if they have a 6'6" player now too, then yeah, that's concerning. But they do have some pretty good height, and we don't this year. I mean, we have 6'3", 6'4". We have more athleticism, but yeah, that'll be interesting to see how. But yeah, they're a very good team, very good program. Should have been in an NCAA tournament last year. They won their regular season, just lost in the conference tournament. And at that level, you have to win to get in. So, yeah. And then men's basketball plays on Tuesday. I don't think we'll talk to you until after that. But anyway, they play Lindenwood. As Grant said, like, they're gonna. How did he phrase it? We're gonna learn some things about them, but we're gonna learn more about us. Basically, is how they kind of see these games early in the year. We'll see who's able to go. I think we'll be missing some people. I think it sounds like Lindenwood is missing some starters as well, though. So maybe it'll be even on that account, and we'll just go at it with short rosters.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the other thing, Gerlich, which we'll probably just talk about on Monday. I need to stop yapping because we're gonna. But she said it'll be a shorter rotation this year, 8 to 9 players. Hoorah! Any other thoughts, Tyler?
No, I'm just super excited. I'm ready for basketball to start. So let's.
I'm not ready
Can't
for
wait.
the lack of sleep that's going to come, but those are good problems to have. I want soccer to play the entire month of November so that like we just don't sleep because we're doing football and basketball and soccer for the next month nonstop every day of the week. Those are good problems to have. But yeah, I'm hype. Obviously, I love basketball. So we will be back on Monday with a basketball only preview, talking all things basketball for Rose Sides, players to watch, all the things. And then next week we'll be on a little bit of a new schedule, maybe starting to settle into more of a Monday, Thursday schedule now that soccer is not going to be playing on Thursdays. Probably will come to you with a show on either Wednesday night or Thursday morning to recap what has happened in the Big 12 tournament and hopefully preview a Big 12 championship game, as well as we will recap football on that episode because we won't see y'all until then. Where we're not talking about basketball, if that's making sense, guys. I'm tired. Anyway, we'll see y'all next week a couple of times. We'll get it in. Don't worry. We'll talk about all the things. Okay. That's all I have, Tyler.
That's all I got.